Hello and welcome back to Air Defense Force 4.1.
Choose loadout.
Do I have anything interesting?
Select a mission.
Nearly went to the wrong mission. Wait, let me check my gun. Do I have anything better? Nope. The RAR it is.
Deploying.
So, from today's assortment of funny things I want to talk about, I actually have a few things. What do we have? Okay. You ever play video games? You know how talking about video games is sometimes more fun than playing them? Well, that's an issue a lot of people fall into.
Niggling, support the infantry. Track your targets and open fire.
An issue which we sometimes run into is when you don't play a game, you should try to talk about it. And I feel like there's this whole thing online where people really love to discuss, because, you know, playing a video game takes time and takes commitment, while Googling something on, like, a wiki page or, like, watching a short video is easier. Even me, like, a lot of the time when I'm talking about video games, it's like, you know, when I'm on the on, like, public transit or when I'm waiting for something, you know, when I don't have the time to be playing stuff. You know, especially if you have, like, a job or something. Sorry, J**B. You know, it's a little bit inconvenient. But granted, a lot of the time, the people who we see, you know, spend so much time arguing over video games are often the jobless, because those with a job simply have, like, the maturity to realize it's kind of pointless. Regardless of that, if there's one thing which, like, internet video game discussions kind of get wrong, it's just, like, even on a conceptual level, how do you convince somebody that something you like is good? And, the truth is, with art, like video games or movies, you kind of can't. Because there are games which, like, you know, there are ways you can objectively measure games, not ways in which you can measure them in a way that is necessarily useful for most game, like, review stuff. Like, if you want to do gaming journalism right, objectively reviewing games can be useful in terms of, like, reviewing their performance, reviewing, you know, their polish, how buggy are they, reviewing their features. Objective reviews of games are really useful as a sort of buying guide, you know? They'll give an overview of a story, they'll give an overview of this sort of stuff, that sort of stuff, and they're a buying guide in the sense that, they kind of give you an overall view on, you know, what the game is. However, they're not really what you think about when you think about a game review, because at the end of the day, an objective review isn't gonna tell you how good or how bad a game is. It's just gonna tell you, like, you know, is it, you know, a game that, you know, how does it perform, how many bugs it is. If you want a subjective review, you could take all of those, like, you could maybe take the summary of the story, and then the person making the video would say, now here's what I think. I think the story is quite good, and that's the subjective part, right? But a lot of people I see don't seem to make a... they don't understand the difference between, like, subjectivity and objectivity in that sort of sense, where people will assume that, like, well, my opinion is based off of facts, quote-unquote, you know? So therefore, my opinion is objective. No. Because your opinion is the interpretation of the facts. For instance, you know, somebody could watch, like, you know, someone like me could see a review of Final Fantasy VII, the original. I haven't played the remake yet. I did get both remake and rebirth on the summer sale, though, so maybe one day. Look, regardless of that, the issue we'll run into quite quickly is the fact that, like, somebody could talk about, oh yeah, the combat in the Final Fantasy games is turn-based, right? And it runs in the action timer battle system. And then I would, from the objective description, I would say, look, I really like the system in Final Fantasy, but I don't like how once I select an action, the timers don't pause, and I have to quickly, fiddle through the menu to select an action. I find that kind of tedious and, annoying. I don't like that. And I would then also say, I do really appreciate, though, how you can, tune a lot of the mechanics. Regardless, you can tune battle speed, message speed in battles, message speed outside of battles. It's neat. However, somebody else, let's call him Mr. Joe McScrimble, right? He could say, yeah, dude, it's okay that they gave us this fluid battle system, but, it would be so much nicer if I could, I don't like the fact that I can't actually move the characters. I can't dodge attacks. It's left up to chance. This game would be so much better if I could just run around the small little stage to dodge attacks, so maybe there would be, a button prompt, like in Paper Mario. Is there somebody here who, is necessarily wrong? Well, I would obviously argue that my point would make a much better battle system, because it takes everything that works and just removes a little bit of frustration, but I can also definitely see the point that it's meant to build tension. Regardless, you can kind of understand that even if we could argue over which one of us is... Can I resurrect him? No, he's dead. You can definitely see how even if I argued at this point, there's still, Jesus. There's still, something here. And both of us kind of are taking the same, objective description of the battle system. In both cases, we are objectively just, using that. And from this objective sort of core, we are making our own subjective both interpretations of how the battle system would be, both our objective understanding of, how it works and do we like it, because sometimes also, your interpretation of it could be a little bit wrong. Maybe you are mad that magic defense is kind of janky. Magic defense doesn't work, it's bugged. Yeah, if you didn't know, magic defense in the original PS1 game is broken. Don't care about it. It doesn't add anything. I remember Googling some stuff, because I got confused on the ship, on what I was supposed to do. The ship where you go from continent A to continent B, let's call it. That one, right? So I ended up, Googling what to do. And then I was when I was Googling that, I also looked up, okay, are there any bugs I should keep in mind? And I was wait a minute, I just bought this new thing? I forget which item it was, but I specifically bought something because I was oh, extra magic defense? That could be useful. No, oh shit. Oh my fucking god, I am stun-locked? I can't move. I can't move! Help. I can't fucking move. Yeah, all of those things I was collecting, they're all gonna be for naught now, because I'm about to fucking die. There's no escape. Great. It's one of those missions. I think if I reload immediately, it's just gonna...
Niggly, support the infantry. Track
Fuck
your
it,
targets
okay,
and open
we'll
fire.
Anyways, yeah, the end result of all of this is basically just that. No, there's no such thing as that. Oh, fuck. However, one thing that I've also noticed online is, there's this sort of common thing I've seen people do where they also don't know how to argue for, like, why their game is good. I started off on this and then I went on a bit of a tangent. But, here's the thing, right? When you make a video, or trying to, or not even a video, when you try to explain why your game is good, you should always be looking into kind of, you know, reaching a hand out towards the other side. If there's, like, the do's and don'ts of interesting somebody in your game, the number one thing which you should do is, like, try to be sort of snarky about, like, you know, I can't believe... Okay, no, there are two bad things. First bad thing, can you believe there are people who don't think this game is great? Or two, fans of video game don't know that there's this better video game out there. This totally destroys the original. Now, the reason why these are both really, really terrible things to do to promote a game is because all they're gonna do is, like, negatively... They're basically, like, what these posts do is they don't actually interest anybody in the game. They just serve as a rallying cry for existing fans and as a, like, you know, beacon for anybody who doesn't like your game and who's interested in making fun of you for it. This is a problem a lot of people who like Sonic fall into, where they'll make posts that are maybe purposefully inflammatory, maybe they just don't know how it comes across. Like, I know that, especially with, like, you know, neurodivergency, etc., or just by not having a lot of social experience in general, I know I struggled with that when I was younger, where sometimes, like, I didn't think what I said sounded that inflammatory, yet it did. You just gotta kind of learn what feels inflammatory and what doesn't, and you will have a much better time, like, interacting with people and convincing people. Now, granted, one thing that sounds kind of similar to what I've just described, but you can definitely do with some decent success, is be like, you know, just bring up games in a positive context, you know? Like, oh, you liked Pokemon? Well, you might want to try insert other game. And then you describe how it's similar to Pokemon and why someone, you know, may like it. How is it different? How is it maybe a refreshing new take on a monster catcher game, right? I mean, it's why people are interested in games like Dragon Quest Monsters or, like, what's the other one? The Digimon Time Traveler? I forget the actual name of it. But basically, the reason why a decent chunk of people are excited for them, or Monster Hunter, I think? I forget which one it was. Regardless, the reason why people were so excited for those games wasn't because, oh, they were kind of like Pokemon necessarily, but it's specifically because they were a more sort of refreshing take on this, you know, Pokemon kind of experience. I'm gonna have to... Anyways, so there's that. However, it's definitely not as simple. One thing which you can do, I don't know how necessarily much I would recommend it, but I know that it's not the worst idea, is to try to promote a game. Okay, fine, I got one.
Send the wing divers to the front line.
Yes, please, send the wing divers. There's how many of them? So basically, it's like, you can say something like, wait, you haven't heard of this game yet? Well, check it out, it's cool. You know, you have to be like, you just shouldn't appear snarky. You should appear like someone who's like, you know, surprised and who's like, dude, like, wait, you're telling me you haven't heard of this? It's so cool. And that can have, I think that's another one down. That's another one down. Come on, one more. The effect that will have is pretty good. Oh, I think I'm gonna get boned here. Can be pretty good also, because what you're gonna end up doing is basically like, well, you're gonna have this sort of appeal of, like, someone who's trying to be, at the very least, helpful. And that is definitely something which a lot of people will sort of appreciate in your tone. Because you're not gonna be like...
Have it support the infantry units.
Because you're not gonna be like, heh, I can't believe... You know, you're gonna sound positive. You're gonna sound like just some gamer guy who wants to, you know, tell people about all these good games, and you're shocked like, wait, you haven't heard of this one? Oh, you should try it, it's good, you know, and that kind of... It's motivating in a positive way. That's the kind of stuff which actually, you know, interests people in your game. And also, like, you know, if there are any downsides with the game, be upfront about it, because that way, like, being genuine about the games you like, is like, you know, not basically like, you want to appear as genuine as possible, because that's the way people will be interested in it. So, like, what you would want to, like, if I was, you know, promoting these games, I'll say, yeah, they can be quite janky. Some of the missions can feel kind of bullshit if you don't have the right strategy. And, like, yeah, a lot of the stuff can feel repetitive. But if you don't care about that, if you just want, like, you know, obviously I would maybe brainstorm it a little bit more. But, like, if you want, like, every single alien invasion B-movie in one game, and, have an extremely fun time destroying hordes and hordes of space bugs and space aliens and all other kinds of weird things, maybe you like it. And, yeah. But, Sonic's a funny thing for me, because I'm pretty sure I've talked about this maybe once or twice before, but, like, I was never really that big of a Sonic fan. The first game I remember was Sonic Adventure 1, the PC port. And the only thing I remembered from that was the first stage. And nothing else. It took me until 2025 to get to the second stage. I would have gotten there earlier, but I was lost. I had to phone my... Okay, after that was when I made that one video. And, I kind of got lost again when I was searching for the casino stage. So, I phoned my ex, and finally I managed to, because my ex was a Sonic. And I finally managed to, figure out, with help, where the third one was. Because I thought to myself, you know, I thought about making another video where I try to, like, tough it out. And just, like, you know, spend 50 hours trying to figure out where the fuck do I go. That's my one issue. That's the biggest issue of Sonic Adventure 1. It's a where the fuck do I go kind of game, you know? And, I think it's funny that I didn't do that, because I feel like the solution I went with was even funnier. But yeah, the stage was fun. I liked it. I also can't believe I managed to go through the fucking, pinball, because I basically only did the pinball stuff, which, I think rewarded a bit of money. I got a bunch of lives that way, it was nice. Then there was this whole other stage. I don't know. Oh yeah, shit, there was that one stage, that I forget when it was. Oh yeah, wasn't there like a stage that was like, kinda like, I don't want to say kinda like Panzer Dragoon, but it was just like one of those 3D rail shooter stages. I got through that one with a decent chunk of health, probably thanks to my previous experience, but I can imagine if like you didn't have much experience in that sort of stuff, that stage would have been difficult. Maybe. Yeah. It is kind of funny though how like, what matters a lot when you play these games is perspective, right? And, like, just, like, do you blame the game or do you blame your own skills? Because my skills at 3D Sonic are not that much better, but hopefully not that much worse than Aaron Hansen. You know, Egoraptor, that guy. The guy who famously... Yeah, we're on a similar level of skills in 3D Sonic. I am dog fucking shit because I've only played Adventure 2 and a single run of Shadow because I wanted to hear the funny voice lines, and then a tiny bit of Adventure 1. Hey, my favorite thing about Adventure 2 are the mech stages. I'm not making this as a bit. I went online and I was shocked when people were like, "Oh yeah, dude, remember those mech stages? Yeah, man, they were fun." But yeah, maybe it's because I kind of like, you know, the mech games in general. Maybe. But yeah, it's very much one of those sorts of things to me where a lot of online Sonic discourse is funny because I'm very much an outsider, but I also know just enough to where I can tell when somebody's being a Sonic fan, you know, like a Sonic fan capitalized versus a Sonic fan lowercase. And if there's one, like, common thing which I find funny, it's, there was this video, I think it was deleted and re-uploaded, from a guy called Pariah. He's the guy who makes thumbnails. All his thumbnails are, like, black and white, which is an interesting gimmick. I can't say that I necessarily... I can't say... It's an interesting gimmick. I can't really say about its quality because... But he made one of these videos where he talked about how he likes 3D Mario, but he also loves Sonic, but he never got into the 2D Mario games. And, he made a video where he then gave all of the games another shot, back-to-back. And that's kind of, I feel like, the biggest issue when people try to play, like, new Soup games. It's, like, people talk about them feeling really similar, but that's only because when you play them back-to-back, they'll, you know, kind of blend together a little bit. But, yeah, that's why on the channel, there were pretty big gaps between me playing, like, 2D Marios or whatever. It's because trying to play them back-to-back, yeah, I can see how they can feel annoying, but I can't say I really disliked any of them. I hate World 9 of, like, yeah, I think I'm gonna, like, try to not do the bonus stages that much, because, like, it can get really frustrating and really... just, like, unfun. And, I mean, it's not... And it's like, you know, it's one of those things where... when you ask something from me that's a little bit too much mechanically, and I have a bunch of other things to play, I'm not that dedicated, you know? Maybe if I was, like, a big Let's Play channel, and not, like... a guy whose hobby is making videos, maybe I would have toughed through that, but I don't care. Yeah, you know, yeah, but yeah, to get back to the point, so Pariah's big sort of thing in that video was kind of interesting because it became kind of obvious that what he wanted was a Mario game that was speedrunnable, you know? Or not speedrunnable per se, but a Mario game where you can run at speed through it. He basically didn't want a Mario game that was a Mario game. He wanted a Mario game that controlled and felt like a Sonic game. And I feel like that is the perspective, and, like, generally the issue that a lot of... Like, that's the disconnect between Sonic fans and not Sonic fans. As somebody who's not a Sonic fan, like myself, and probably thyself, you know, I assume... Like, a lot of people are not interested in, you know, the Sonic style. That's why, you know, Sonic games have kind of stayed semi-niche in the sense that I feel like the common perspective is that people kind of grow out of them. I don't know how accurate this is, though.
Command headquarters. The day after tomorrow, we will execute a simultaneous attack against the motherships. All motherships.
Is that a Ian Flynn reference? I hope it is.
The operation preparations are moving forward in each region.
But yeah,
our instructions are to bring down the ship heading to this area.
We are reliving 8 years ago.
Are we? We did it, Patrick! We saved the city! But yeah, do we get it? did not get one new item. At least we have a lot of armor. Do I do another mission? Yeah, I feel like only doing one mission in a video would be kind of pathetic.
Select a mission.
Oh,
Deploying.
God. I know that. Wait, is this the mission where we get to chop off its thing? I hope so. But yeah, an issue specifically with Sonic is that I feel like, you know, whenever people say they don't like Sonic, some people don't like the character. I find the character cheesy in a, like, I don't have 90s nostalgia. Wasn't born yet. But I do like the sort of cheesiness in moderation. No, that's not this.
The Ravager's force is 10 times stronger than 8 years ago.
I just like the cheesiness because it's, like, endearing.
Shoot down the mothership. If we fail,
But yeah, the big sort of issue... Oh, never mind. Running away?
On this operation.
The issue I feel...
is protected by shield screens, and the air raids didn't work. Infantry units are the only ones who can do this.
Okay.
It's not going to be easy to destroy that large ship from the ground, but we have to do it.
Well, I have infinite rockets, so we'll be fine.
All units, engage in battle. We wish you good luck.
Yeah, me too. A big issue, I feel... Oh, God, there comes the genocide gun.
The mothership is powering up the genocide gun.
Wait a minute. Can I? Damage this.
The genocide gun is coming. Retreat.
I don't fucking do damage. But the point is, I feel like a big issue is that Sonic fans like how, you know, they like Sonic games. Yeah, okay. Cannon destroy. Yeah, you just have to fire at the big red rocket. Oh, look, there goes. We chopped it off. Yeah.
It was a miracle that we shot down the mothership 8 years ago. But we didn't waste our time waiting for 8 years. We developed stronger weapons and polished our tactics. We will
I feel like the Hectors have... one Hector's approaching on the right. Why is it?
That's great. The mothership is damaged.
I think we're gonna start dropping stuff.
This army's huge.
Yeah. Anyways, as I was gonna say, like, the issue is Sonic fans like... Oh my god. Let me talk! Good. The issue is that, like, oh my... Sonic fans are very much in love with the way Sonic games feel in control. Now, we could argue, look at what it happens when you have childhood nostalgia. Sonic fans only... No, I'm not gonna be stupid. What I'm trying to explain is specifically, like, you know, why they like the games, not like, you know, why they like the game style. But, like, basically, a lot of the time, what makes a Sonic game really is, like, the whole package, the whole experience. Kind of like how Mario isn't just the plumber, and it's not just high-quality physics and, like, a, you know, high-quality physics and decent to really good level design and a big hammy turtle. That's not what makes that's, like, not what makes Mario fun in, you know, in individuality. It's a union of all of these factors that make for an overall, like, unique experience, which is what people like. That's the fun of Mario games. It's not, you know, one factor, it's a coalition of all the other factors. And it's a similar thing with Sonic. The issue is that with Sonic... Oh shit. All Mario games play in a remarkably similar sort of way. In a sense that it's a, you know, ding ding wahoo, that sort of thing.
There is an air intake vent directly under the mothership. Attack when the air intake vent is open.
And the issue we kind of run into with Sonic is that every single Sonic game's a little bit different. Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 are kind of funny because they had a very distinct sort of style. And then Sonic Adventure 3 doesn't exist. Or more accurately, you got a few other games. So, like, we have Sonic Heroes, which is different, and not very much like the adventure games at all. You have Shadow the Hedgehog, the game, the movie. Then you have, you know, the game, the movie, the game, the movie. But basically you have that, and then you have, like, you know, the boost formula, then I guess the closest you have to an Adventure 3 game is 06. But 06 is kind of not ideal. Wait, there's no Hector! It's just the fucking Mothership guns. Okay. Oh, wait, I'm here for these. But yeah, the big issue, I feel, of Sonic is that there are just so many, like, sort of competing styles that none of them really get the, like, development time necessary for any of them to be seen to the full sort of fruition, right? Like, if you think about it, what was added in each Mario game, right? Let's just go through the 3D games, because I feel like it's just gonna be easier to describe, right? So, Mario 64 adds a bunch of, like, let's call them gymnast moves, right? Like, you can wall jump, you can triple jump. They basically make Mario feel a lot more fluid. And they also vastly expand the levels in sort of, like, exploratory non-linear ways. Sonic Adventure just translates Sonic's 2D style into 3D and gives him, like, you know, targeting when he does the, like, jump dash. I forgot the exact term for it, you know what I mean. And it does it decently well. But every single game Mario tries something a little bit different that builds off of the core sort of mechanics in a way that is kind of logical, you know? Like, Mario Sunshine kind of changes some of his abilities around and lets him hover with Flood. I don't like this. I don't like Sunshine. But then if you look at the other games, right? Like, Galaxy is basically Mario, but he runs on little planetoids. And now he has a spin jump, and you can kind of shoot star bits, but it's still, at the end of the day, it's still Mario, right? Like, Mario Sunshine is, I feel like, the furthest deviating, but, like, you know, if you think about the other ones, they all kind of expand what I would argue is the original arsenal, right? Then you have, like, 3D Land and 3D World, which are very much like, a simplified 2D, like, related movement. What do you mean we did it? We gonna run away? I think so. Yeah, it's over. We win. You can hear because the music went away. Wait a minute! I don't think it's over.
Mothership moving to final defensive form. It has deployed giant cannons.
Shit again!
Even with this much damage, it still doesn't lose its attack power. That ship is formidable.
Formidable.
It actually seems to be getting stronger. We can't beat this.
Shut up! Fuck. I should always be moving. I need to run to always be moving, preferably in a big straight line. But yeah. Damn it.
It's fighting for real now.
Yeah, this is hurting my eyes. This is...
Aim for the air intake vent directly under the mothership.
The air intake vent is pretending not to be there. Like, shoot these down? Oh my god!
This bombardment is too much!
Yeah, for my eyes!
It's hell under the mothership!
It looks like we caused the mothership severe damage.
Yeah, I hope so, yeah. I have to focus on this, hold on. I need not to... I don't want to...
Blast in the mothership's lower section confirmed. It looks like it suffered fatal damage.
Oh, no, it's still fighting. Ow!
This is Ranger 25.
I'm getting juggled.
We have a number of casualties. We cannot continue the battle. This is Ranger 41. Our commander was killed in the bombardment.
Are there any
This is 15.
health kits?
Ranger 16 is
But
killed.
I'm gonna get juggled to death. Hold on, there are health kits over
We're
there.
just gonna wait here to be killed.
There's a health kit over there. You need fatal damage. Oh my god. Okay.
Destroying the mothership. It is falling. We really did it!
All units, get out of the way. The
Yeah,
mothership is falling.
probably move out of the way. There we go. Uh-oh. Woohoo. Got another one. Okay. Well, that was a... Got another casket and nothing else. Damn it. Well, I'll thank you for
Choose
watching. What
loadout.
is a
Rangers can equip 2 weapons.
20 missiles. 70 damage each? Okay. Well, you know what? Depending on the kind of
Choose
mission we
loadout.
have, I'll try to test it out. See you next time when I do that. Goodbye.